Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 253 of Show Viewers. Today we'll be going over episode 1174 of the One Piece anime. Now, I'm just going to be real with you to begin here. This episode was kind of a nothing burger. So, just kind of start off, we just saw some more of the, I guess, not really shadow, but like the illustration, the nightmare creatures from Killing Him, just kind of doing some damage, fighting a lot of Elbaf nobodies. But they do have some pretty high quality animation here, and we get to see the light shined on a little bit of kind of no-name characters. We also see as Saul is still attempting to stop the children from progressing into the fire. We see as he ends up using two shields. However, this ends up knocking them into each other, and this leads him to fail. Then we see as he tries a lasso to hold one of them back, but then he gets attacked by Fenrir, which is one of the nightmare illustration things. And then kind of we just see more of the Elbaf citizens fighting off people. Also, at the beginning of the episode, we saw as Frankie and Ripley ended up going to like this science area that is apparently 3,000 years old on the island of Elbaf. It looked pretty cool and all that. We saw that Bonnie and Vegapunk or Lilith had already gotten lost there, so they kind of know about that. And I don't really to this point, if I remember correctly, this is never elaborated upon in the anime, not the anime, but the manga. But yeah, so we see that. We also get to see as the Holy Knight's still kind of just chilling as everything's going on. If you were interested, we learned what Gunko's favorite song is, and that is New World. She doesn't state the artist. But yeah, kind of just learn a little bit more stuff about them, see as they interact, but they're still just enjoying their meal as everything kind of goes down. And so towards the end of the episode, we get to see a little bit more focus on actually fighting the illusions. We see, like I said, more no-name Elbaf citizens start to fight them off a little bit, but we see as they're not too much of a match for them because it takes quite a few of them to take down even one of the illusions, and that is the Draugr that they end up taking down. And so we see all this play out, and then throughout this entire episode, we've been seeing as people are looking for Dory and Brogy, but they're in the bathroom throwing up alcohol that they had during the party because apparently they're a bunch of lightweights that are massive giants. So this kind of almost a gag continues to play through the entire episode until we get to the end where we see as the Elbaf citizens are kind of getting overrun by illusions. We see as the Nidhogg illusion ends up pulling up, what appears to be a Loki illusion pulls up, and also just an assortment of other ones. So after this, we then see as Dory and Brogy ultimately do pull up, and they're in their big ship, their big giant pirate ship, and they ultimately end up blasting a Hakoku sovereignty at the three that are really here, marauding against the not marauding against, but marauding the giants. And we see as they blast it at the illusions, and this really ends up just kind of defeating all of them that were there. So that is honestly kind of where the episode ends. We do see that Gabon is in fact on the ship with both golly, I cannot speak today, with both Dory and Brogy. And he is just kind of speaking generally. He's like, it ain't real drinking until you start feeling the alcohol or something like that. And that's really where the episode ends. So I was kind of disappointed by this episode because I know they could have put more into this episode, at least story-wise. We still got good animation and all that, but they could have put a little bit more into the story. Oh, yeah, sorry, I forgot. So throughout all this, we actually get to see as one of the no-name giants ends up telling Colin, yo, you're not him, because Colin obviously wanted to try and fight because he's the son of Gabon and all of that, and the dude's like, yeah, you're just the son of him, you're not him, and ends up throwing him away. Not really throwing him away, but kind of hard love telling him to go away. So we then see as Colin ends up trying to take a bunch of swords and crap like that. Also, it's revealed to Yarul that not everyone, but the Holy Knights are here and they're causing havoc and everything. And we then see as Colin is, ultimately recruited by the Straw Hats to be kind of their captain, be their transport as they go about and try and deal with things. So that's kind of where that little Colin storyline is. But yeah, like I said, the content of this episode was kind of lacking, a little bit disappointing, but I know we'll be getting into a lot of very high-paced and very interesting stuff here to come shortly. I think we actually only have 8 episodes left for this year, so that is coming to a very close end, not too far from now. But obviously we'll be into 2027, not too far from now, only 5 months. No, not 5 months, 4 months. Actually, 3.5, actually. But, yeah, so then we'll be getting, obviously, more One Piece that year, and we'll probably be getting the bulk of the Rocks flashback in 2027. I'm not for certain. I don't know how soon it is coming. Oh, Sorry if you're an anime only, but we do get a Rocks flashback if you haven't heard in the Elbaf arc, and it's phenomenal. So I will obviously be going over that as it comes out. But yeah, that's what it really was for not episode chapter. Oh my gosh, I cannot speak. I don't know what it is. Episode 1174 of the One Piece anime. And that's all I really have for episode 253 of Shelf Review. So thank you very much for watching.